Hi everyone. So this is how I did my coding assignment. First, this is how I created my array. Since I knew what the elements were, I like to do it in one line this way because it's easier to read. Then this is how I calculated the difference between the first and last element in the array. So I used their indexes. We always note that the first element is of index 0, and then the last element will be its length minus 1, just because the index starts at 0. I added some extra print statements, as you can see, just so that when I run the code, it's more readable in the console. So yeah, then here I'm adding one more age to my ages array, and again calculated the difference the same way I did before. And then here's where I'm looping through the array to calculate the average age. And again, my extra print statements. And then I have a string of names, created the string of the array of names of type string. And then here I iterated through them to calculate the average number of letters per name. Here I did another for loop to concatenate all the names together. I used a string builder just because it's much more useful. And then here I explained how I can access the last element of any type of array, even if I don't know what their length is. And this is the first element, which always will be of index 0. And here I created a new array, which tells me the length of each element of the names array. So I used a for loop. And here I used a for loop to print it out as well. Then here I calculated the sum of all the elements in an array. So I used the name length array to test it out. And here, this is where we start writing methods. So here I am calling my methods that I wrote. So making their instances here. I created some extra arrays to test out some of my methods. But yeah, basically that's what all these print statements are. And then here are my methods. I kind of went backwards. So method 7, it concatenates a string, whatever number of times I input. This one is full name, which will concatenate a first and a last name into like one string with a space in between. Then here it tells me if the average number or the average of like the sum of the numbers in an array is greater than 100. This one is the average of the elements in a number array. And then here this method tells me if I have two arrays of doubles, it will return a boolean, tell me true if the average of the first array is greater than the second average of the second array. Method 12 tells me if I should buy a drink, depending if it's hot outside and if I have enough money in my pocket. So here's my if statement. If is hot outside is true, and I have more than 10.50 in my pocket, then yes, it returns true. I should buy a drink. So it returns my buy drink. And finally, my method calculates the total interest on a loan, and it takes a loan amount, the interest rate in percentage, and the years, and it'll just return how much total interest it will. So I'll run it, and here's in my console. So I can read, and I mean, I checked everything and it's all right. Thank you.